Yeah, so today, as promised, I will share about BMT models, Indonesia's Islamic microfinance model, something which we have been operating for almost 30 years by now. I think everybody in Indonesia agree that the first BMT was at the end of late 80s or early 90s. So now we have been doing BMT in Indonesia for almost 30 years. And now we have more than 3,000 BMT institutions in Indonesia. And maybe some countries start adopting the BMT model as well. So BMT in this case stands for Baitul Maal wa Tamwil, which is roughly translated as House of Social and Business. So the BMT model can be explained in this very simple diagram. So BMT is like a house with two pillars, Mal and Tamwil. Mal is the word we use to handle Islamic social finance, and Tamwil is the division which handle Islamic commercial finance. So under Islamic social finance, we are dealing with what we call ZISWAF, Zakat, Infak, Sadaqah, Wakaf, and also donation and general CSR. Then under commercial finance, we are dealing with the commercial funds that we know, I mean, mostly from the bank, investment from members, or direct investment from investors. So with BMT, we believe that the true beauty of Islamic finance will come if we can create synergies among both social finance and commercial finance. We believe one of the main differences between Islamic finance and conventional finance or capitalist finance is the existence of social finance, or in this case, famous as the ZISWAF, Zakat, Infak, Sadaqah, Wakaf. If we only focus on commercial finance, it is unlikely we can really show the world about the difference between Islamic finance and the conventional finance, or the beauty of Islamic finance. So the true beauty, because in Islamic finance, social finance is really part of the finance itself. Yeah, so we really need to take it seriously. And I guess that is also the main idea from Ahwat, where they focus on Islamic social finance, and they can be one of the largest Kadul Hasan provider in the world. But with the BMT model, we hope, I mean, by creating synergies between Islamic social finance and Islamic commercial finance, we can provide impactful solution to empower the society. So this is I think one of the benefit of having both pillars under one roof. I mean, usually the ordinary microfinance, they only talk about commercial finance. As a consequence, they can only serve the segment which is ready to accept commercial finance. So commercial finance is totally not suitable for the bottom of the pyramid. Islamic finance is not the knowledge created by ordinary human being. For us, Islamic finance is really knowledge coming from the smartest, Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. So certainly, Islamic finance it's really perfect for the humankind, for everybody on earth. Islam rahmatan lil alamin. So that's why in Islamic finance we have zakat, infak, sadaqah, zakat, infak, and sadaqah, because that's the way to properly help poorest of the poor. So with zakat handled by our Baitul Maal, we can provide grant for the one who deserve it. And I mean, that would be a great start for them. And then after that, they can, when they become better, stronger, we can go to the next one, which is non-commercial financing, or in Islamic finance, we know it as Qardul Hasan. And then after that, when they grow, of course, Islamic finance is about being fair. When the beneficiaries are strong enough, they should also start sharing. So in this case, commercial finance is becoming relevant in this case. And talking about commercial finance, the sky is the limit, because what we want with BMT is not just helping people to survive, but we really want to improve their life. We want the poor to stop being poor. We want the mustahik, the zakat receiver, to be the zakat payer, and we want the rich to be richer in order to be more helpful for the others. So BMT is about improving about welfare improvement, poverty alleviation, not just helping the poor to stay to survive. But also, we have to admit that there is another reason why we need to have this Baitul Tamwil. it is good if because Indonesia is a very big country, so every places have their own unique situation. Uh, Unfortunately, while it is social finance is so beautiful, but in many places, people cannot really rely on the availability of social finance in their own area. So that's why we need to combine at the start with commercial finance as well. So commercial finance is not just to provide financing for the one who is ready for it, but it's also the way for BMT to survive. BMT in general is not established by large organization, by IDB, by World Bank, or by multinational foundation. BMT was founded, was established, was developed by the local people itself. So, and in many cases, they really have to rely on themselves. So that's why BMT need to have some commercial aspect in order to survive, to cover the operation, and to grow, to be in order to be more helpful for the society. So there are several. I mean, because of the limitation of time, I will just focus on several unique points about BMT. So BMT is from the intention is actually not a microfinance institution, but BMT is an institution which want to empower people because the way to help the people sustainably, I mean, to really make the difference by empower them in order to improve their welfare. And one of the things that BMT can do and must do at the time until now is providing the right financial service for the beneficiaries. Without the right financial service, it is very, very difficult to talk about poverty alleviation and welfare improvement. And what I underline here is the right financial service, meaning because right now, if you notice, I'm not sure about what happened outside Indonesia. Even in Indonesia, we have what we call the wrong financial service, which is the loan shark. Yeah, and now the loan shark is even worse because of the digital technology. Now we have the online loan shark. So they are killing people with the interest rate of can be 1% per day, not 1% per month or 1% per year. So 1% per day, which is equivalent to 300% per year. So this is what an example of wrong financial service. And also for the Muslim, the religion clearly teach us that there is the right is not just decided by the human. I mean, what is right is already taught by Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala about how we should do how we should do financing activities. So that's why being right is not just about being cheap, but also doing it properly with the right akad, or in short is by providing Islamic financial services. And also being right in this case is when you are serving big customer, then you can be like a bank. I mean, we can use the normal banking activities. But when we are serving the poorest of the poor, we are serving the micro segment or what people call unbankable people, then we must provide the right service by not providing banking style services, but the unique one, or what is called as microfinance now. And BMT again is about creating synergies between Islamic social finance and Islamic commercial finance, which I will later explain on on some beautiful forms of those synergy. So the BMT try to improve welfare of the people by, I mean, sustainably. So the way to do it is not by giving donation all the time, but we want to develop the community to be productive and prosperous. I mean, the way for the people, especially in Indonesia, to be productive, I mean, to be prosperous is they have to be productive. And that's what BMT is trying to do. And BMT is about independent movement of the people. Uh, so the BMT was founded by the community itself. So it is it's a form of sustainable by the self-reliance of the society. So from us, for us, by us. So from the people, not from someone else for someone else. And especially for a big country like Indonesia, where every place is so unique. I mean, we have 5 big islands and 1,000 smaller islands, and even in this big island, the situation is very different from one place to the other. Every BMT is unique because what we want to do in order to make the community productive is by optimizing the local strength. in order to do so, we really have to understand the local wisdom. So that's why in Indonesia, the way we provide BMT services is not through one giant organization, but we have thousands of BMT institutions, because every BMT, they can focus on their community, optimizing the local wisdom and the local strength. So this is just an example of providing the right financial service. So just a small thing, like talking about small micro businesses, small entrepreneurs. Usually they are just someone with a small shop. They have nobody working for them. So if they have to come to the bank in the long queue to deposit their money or to apply for loans, when they are in the bank, the business stops, no money coming in. So in order, since what we want is to help them to grow, the BMT provide what in the banking world we called as a platinum services. We send the officer to serve the client. So what we are sending there is not the debt collectors, but really financial officers serving them, handling their when they want to save money or when they want to get for loans, and also to provide consulting services for these customers. And because the BMT is not about just helping people to survive, but we want people to grow to be better. So capacity building is part of daily activities of the BMT. We provide training, consulting, and providing various non-finance solutions in order for our members, our customers to grow. So in short, although BMT right now is known as a Islamic microfinance institution, but what we have been doing so far, learning from the experience in the last almost 30 years, what we are doing is more than just providing financing. So this is one of the case where BMT is talking about helping people, helping them to grow. So this is about a case where the BMT tried to help few ladies in the remote villages. If they are, without the proper job in their village, this lady have no choice but to leave their families and work overseas, as being migrant workers. So certainly it is not a beautiful life that any woman want to do. Nobody, no woman or even no man, no people on earth like to leave their family for years. So in order to help this lady to stay in the village, to be with the family, BMT not providing the loan, because not many poor people, even we provide as much money as possible, they don't, many cases they don't have the knowledge, experience, skills to develop a new business. So what BMT is doing is establishing a business and creating jobs. So based on our experience, actually a lot of poor people, they will be more than happy if they can just have a proper jobs, but that is also always the problem everywhere in the world, that there is never enough jobs on earth. So we combine with helping them to be entrepreneurs or creating jobs whenever possible. And here is the way BMT alleviate poverty, in many cases providing jobs, and also BMT try to create multiple impact. In this case, we are also providing solution for what we call growing village. So in Indonesia, we have initially the definition of urbanization is about people moving from village to the city. But now the definition of urbanization is a village becoming a city. So as a city, they have now many tall buildings which require certain maintenance facilities. BMT try to solve that problem. They establish maintenance company, including a cleaning service company with a modern technology. But actually, the main intention is to do poverty alleviation by providing good jobs for the poor in that village. So BMT is also trying to solve problems with garbage, because garbage management is still a problem in several places in Indonesia, and some environmental campaign. Then here, there's in the case where I think Dr. Amjad agreed that helping poor people is already difficult. But what BMT is trying to do here in this case is helping poor and disabled people. That is the double problem. It's very difficult, but that's what BMT, because of the spirit of helping, then that's what they do. And because of having Baitul Maal and Tamwil, they have social funds, and then with a commercial approach, they establish social enterprise special to provide jobs for poor and disabled people. I mean, this is another form of poverty alleviation. And here, some initiative by my friends BMT in the city of Yogyakarta. As mentioned before, providing capital in many cases is irrelevant for many poor families. They don't have the capacity, they don't have the knowledge, skill, experience, and network to create and develop business. But many people, the poor people in Indonesia, they are willing to work hard. So the BMT in Jogja, they changed the way they help people. They stopped providing financing, but they use the zakat, infak, sadaqah money to create a business. So what they give to the poor families is not a cash, but a business package, together with the training, together with the network and everything they need. So all this poor family must do is just work as hard as possible, running your own business. And Alhamdulillah, with this project, we can proudly say that we are not just helping the poor to survive, but we help them to stop being poor. Because usually in less than 6 months, these poor families who had nothing, now they are making monthly income of minimum wage or even double minimum wage. And the way for poverty alleviation, we are not just talking about poor adults. I mean, we want, if say the parent is poor, we want the children to have a better life. So BMT is also trying to help the children of poor families with good education. I think like in Indonesia, English is still an issue. I mean, English is very important. With English, it opens opportunities for better education, better business, better job opportunities, but it is still an issue in Indonesia. So there's a BMT established an English center in a very remote poor village in order to make sure that the today's poor children, they become prosperous adult later. And BMT is not about just economic. It's really want to improve people's life. So in Indonesia, hospital, we are still having shortage on hospital, but because of the BMT's ability in creating synergies of social finance and commercial finance, now few BMT, Alhamdulillah, has established big, modern, but very affordable hospitals. Why the hospital is cheap and affordable is because it is there's a large component of Islamic finance there. It started with wakaf land, and then wakaf cash and infak, sadaqah, and then combined with commercial financing, and there we go. We have this beautiful hospital, but not expensive. Not only one BMT can do it, but several BMT already doing it. So now when you come to Indonesia, you can see some beautiful hospitals and clinic that happens because of the ability of BMT to create synergies among Islamic social finance and Islamic commercial finance. So in summary, BMT is about being independent. So this is a model which is designed to be very simple. So anyone with good intention can do. For almost 30 years, we have a lot of good examples that ordinary people, you don't need PhD certainly to run the BMT. A lot of big BMTs now was really founded by ordinary young men with degree or even without degree, but they are very good Muslim. They are honest. They have a persistent to do it. I mean, BMT is a simple model, but it requires a lot of sacrifice to have it. Like now from some big beautiful BMT that we see here, the founders, they didn't take any salaries during the first few years of their BMTs. And BMT is talking about making sustainable changes. So the keyword is empowering, not just simple donation, because donation is like trying to empty an ocean. And the way we can really empower the people is by focusing on the local strength and resources, especially for big countries. I think all big countries in the world, the situation is very different from one city to the other city, or even from one village to the other village. So we need an institution which focuses, which fully understand the local strength and resources. And again, let me repeat again and again, because that is the most important thing for, I mean, talking about Islamic finance is the true Islamic finance, the one that is different with the ordinary or conventional finance, is the one who can create synergies between social finance and commercial finance. Because social finance is a compulsory component in Islamic finance in general. So I will end my presentation with this, my favorite cartoon. Yeah, so in short, BMT is not a financial institution per se. So it's a institution which want to help people, and the way to do it, one of what they do is providing the right financial services. I mean, I hope you get this point. Yeah. So this is not about the bank trying to find a market for them to make money to grow, but it's an organization which want to help the people, and then with that intention they provide the right financial services. And BMT is not about an office where the poor will go, but BMT should be the vehicle for every member of the society to work together to improve the prosperity. Because in order to help the poor, then we really need to have the rich, the strong, to be part of the movement. So if we only have the group of poor people, who can help them then in this case? Yeah, of course we have the government, but we need the participation of everybody to really do the effective poverty alleviation in the country. So BMT is about the creation of synergy between social and business movement, which is based on self-reliance of the society. And one more thing is, for us in the BMT network, we strongly believe that the best microfinance institution is the one owned by yourself. You can use anyone's model, but the institution must be owned by yourself, because the successful microfinance needs a strong sense of belonging. So that's why for us, the BMT, we don't want to open branches in other countries. I mean, if you like BMT model, please establish yourself. We are not going to open our branches there, but we will be more than happy to share our knowledge, so you can learn. You don't need to start from the scratch. You can learn from our experience, and you can establish your BMT in your respective countries faster, with a lower cost, lower risk, less mistake. Yeah. So again, the best microfinance institution is the one owned by yourself. The model can be from anywhere. You can use Aqua, you can use BMT, or few other models that is quite known in the world now. But you must have it by yourself. Put your best resources, best effort there. Yeah. Thank you very much.